My 20F boyfriend's 19M sister 25F is obsessed with him. From our /best of Redditor updates. Trigger warning: obsessive behavior, controlling behavior, stalking and harassment. Original post, August 21, 2024. My boyfriend and I have been dating for a little over 3 years now. He has one sister that is 25 years old. This sister, I feel, is a little obsessed with my boyfriend, her brother. I was blinded by it at the first of our relationship, and just gradually over the last year it's really been showing more and more. She will do things such as call him over and over 5 to 6 times in a row, along with like 5 to 6 texts if he doesn't answer his phone. We will be doing things like hanging out with friends or being on a date, and she will do this just to see what he is doing. Anytime we do go somewhere, she has to know where he is going, what he is doing, who he will be with, what time he will be home, etc. A couple weeks ago she came into his room while we were laying in bed watching a show and referred to him as my love, but just to tell him his phone was going to die. My love, your phone is going to die. And then on another occasion she came into his room and like pet his chest. His shirt was off, as she was sitting down. Super unnecessary. She had his location and she would watch it like a hawk 24/7. She would sometimes just show up to where we would be without saying anything before coming. I have a sister that we occasionally hang out with, and while hanging out with her, my boyfriend will get texts from either his sister or her boyfriend saying, "Thanks for cheating on us," or "Thanks for the invite," just really immature stuff like that. Last Thursday, we were driving home from the store and she and her boyfriend conveniently showed up on the same road at the same time, and when we ignored them driving next to us it made her mad, so they sped past us and she flipped us off out the window. My boyfriend started a new job back in April, which made him extremely exhausted and tired, so he didn't really talk to her or anyone else, which made her freak out thinking he was so mad at her, and went and complained to their mom about it, which then resulted in the mom asking me about it like I had something to do with it. I didn't. I've expressed my concerns to my boyfriend and he has seen the problem but has a rough time saying anything to her because then she will get over dramatic and again freak out. He just recently stopped sharing his location with her and she is pissed about it and keeps requesting his location. On the 4th of July my boyfriend had gotten really drunk, so I drove him home, and the second we walked into the house she was quick to run out of the bathroom and take over taking care of him, even though I had it and am perfectly capable of taking care of him. I just feel like she feels threatened and is low-key obsessed with her younger brother, and I don't know what to do. There is many other things that happen that I could never fit into this whole paragraph. Advice? Added comments. Are they blood relatives? OP. Yes, they are blood relatives 100%. Commenter. How does your boyfriend feel about her behavior? In general, does his sister have her own life? I mean, does she have a job, her own apartment? She should be focusing on her own life and not her brother. OP. He just says that she has always been like this. He just tells me he will create boundaries, but I think he is scared to make her mad. She is a nurse and engaged to a boyfriend of 8 years. She still lives at home with him and their parents. Commenter. I don't think there will be any boundaries until one of them moves out. Why is he afraid of his sister? Are the parents aware or are they totally oblivious? OP. I think he is just scared to make her mad or something, I'm not exactly sure. He doesn't like talking about this subject since it usually leads to an argument. Their mom told my boyfriend we need to get along, but I'm not ever rude, I just don't talk to her anymore. Commenter. Wow. That's a lot. Very odd of her to be so obsessed. At least he turned off his location. I wonder what her BF really thinks of it all. OP. I don't think her boyfriend sees the problem since he will take act in some of the things she does. He also had my boyfriend's location, but it was just recently stopped being shared a couple of days ago. Commenter. What does your boyfriend have to say about all of this? Hey, I think we need to sit down and talk about setting some boundaries with your sister. It's obvious that she doesn't respect me or our relationship. How would a talk like that go with him? OP. He says boundaries will be set, but then an opportunity arises to get a said boundary and he doesn't do it. Update August 7, 2025. First off, the good news, we're still together, and now we're engaged. Back in October, shortly after my original post, his sister finally moved out. That was amazing, and things calmed down for a while. Honestly, I blocked out some of what happened, but there are a few major events I remember clearly. At the beginning of this year, my fiancé and I were looking to buy a house about 35 to 45 minutes from our hometown. When we told his parents, his mom completely shut down and was obviously upset. She tried to list every reason why we shouldn't do it, but I had answers for everything. Still, she acted like a child for days, barely talking, and when she did, it was to criticize the idea. In the end, we didn't buy the house, partly due to her lack of support and partly for work-related reasons. Things stayed relatively calm for a couple more months, aside from the usual requests for his location. My fiancé and I have had many long, serious talks about his family, and we've chosen each other every time. He sees the issues now and has cut his sister off. Since we still live with his parents until our wedding next year, he'll say hello if she's around, but that's it. The final straw happened in April. Around 1 a.m. on a Friday night, I started getting multiple no-caller ID calls. I didn't answer at first, but then my fiancé started getting them too, so we picked up. On the line were a couple of girls claiming they had been with my fiancé the night before and the week before, sleeping with him. They were trying to convince me he was cheating. I knew immediately it was a lie. We recognized the voice, it was his sister and one of her friends. They called 15 to 20 times, kept changing their story, and couldn't keep the details straight. We finally confronted them by name and told them to stop. I was furious and got on the phone, telling her, "This is why we don't talk to you anymore. You need to grow up, you're almost 30. My fiancé told his parents about the prank calls, but they denied she would ever do something like that. A few days later, she admitted it to him, laughed it off, and called it a joke. She didn't care and never apologized. That was the moment he completely cut her off. His mom didn't help matters. She ended up yelling at my fiancé, saying I was the new variable ruining the family. Then, at the end of April, it was his sister's birthday. We had already decided not to attend the family dinner because it was also my mom's birthday, and we were going to her celebration instead. During my mom's dinner, his mom sent him multiple texts saying she was disappointed and that he broke her heart by not choosing her. When he didn't respond, his dad texted, "When you come home, don't bring your woman with you." My fiancé went home to talk to them while I stayed at my parents' house. In the front yard, his dad lectured him about how blood is thicker than water and no one should come before your blood family. My fiancé asked if his mom came first in his dad's life, and his dad said no, which honestly blew my mind. Fast forward to June, his mom insisted we have a face-to-face family meeting. It was awful. I confronted his sister directly, but she had nothing to say, so most of the conversation ended up being between me and her fiancé. My fiancé did defend me, so I wasn't entirely on my own. Since that day, there's been no further drama. His sister remains cut off from our lives. We're happy, we're planning to move out as soon as possible, and we're looking forward to our wedding.